Would you donate crypto to help a veteran get their first civilian job? That's the real question behind today's story, and the answer might surprise you. Welcome to XRP Future Finance, and if this is your first time here, stick around because we cover the XRP and Ripple stories that actually mean something, not just noise. Today we're looking at a move Ripple made on July 4th that had nothing to do with price charts or trading pairs, and everything to do with putting XRP to work for a cause most Americans care about deeply. Here's what happened. As the country marked its 250th birthday, Ripple joined a nationwide campaign called Giving Forth, run by an organization called America 250. The pledge was simple on the surface. Ripple would match eligible donations made in XRP, up to $10,000. But the cause behind that pledge is what makes this worth talking about. The money isn't going toward a random charity picked for good press. It's funding a specific program built around one goal, helping veterans find real jobs after they leave the military. That program is called Code 4 Vets, and it's run by the Call of Duty Endowment. Yes, the same name behind the video game franchise, except this side of the organization has nothing to do with gaming and everything to do with employment. Code 4 Vets funds nonprofits that specialize in helping veterans translate military experience into civilian careers. Think resume coaching, interview prep, and direct outreach to employers who don't always know how to read a military background on paper. It's the unglamorous practical work that actually gets someone hired, not just a feel-good donation drive. Now let's get into the numbers, because this is where the story gets interesting for anyone who follows crypto adoption closely. Donors could give through cash, stock, or crypto, and both XRP and RLUSD were listed as accepted digital assets on the official campaign page. That detail matters more than it might seem at first glance. A lot of charities still don't accept crypto directly, forcing donors to convert their holdings before giving. Here, XRP holders could give straight from their wallets, and RLUSD holders had the same option, no extra steps required. Let's talk about scale for a second, because this puts the whole campaign into perspective. The Call of Duty Endowment says it has already helped fund more than 165,000 veteran job placements since it started. That's not a marketing number, that's a track record, and the group isn't stopping there. They've set a target of 200,000 placements by 2030, so every dollar or every XRP token funneled through this campaign is chipping away at a specific, trackable goal, not just disappearing into a vague charitable fund. Here's the mechanic behind Ripple's match, and it's worth understanding if you're an XRP holder who might want to get involved. Ripple committed to matching donations made in XRP through the official campaign page, dollar for dollar, until the total match hit $10,000. In plain terms, that means every eligible XRP donation was effectively doubled up to that cap. Once the cap is reached, the match closes. So the actual impact of this campaign depends entirely on how many people show up and donate before that ceiling gets hit. Why did America 250 launch this campaign in the first place? It comes down to a problem most nonprofits deal with every summer. Donations tend to slow down around the middle of the year, right when people are on vacation or distracted by other things. Giving Forth was designed to fight that seasonal dip by turning July 4th into a national moment for charitable giving, instead of just fireworks and cookouts. Tying that concept to Independence Day gives it an obvious emotional hook, since the holiday is already about honoring the country's history and the people who defended it. If you're wondering why Ripple specifically chose this campaign, it fits a pattern we've tracked on this channel before. Ripple has spent the last couple of years trying to prove that XRP and RLUSD aren't just trading assets, they're tools people can actually use. We've seen this play out in cross-border payment pilots, in RLUSD's push into everyday transactions, and now in a charitable campaign that puts XRP directly into a real-world cause. It's a small move in the grand scheme of Ripple's business, but it's a clear signal about the image the company is trying to build. Here's something a lot of people miss when they hear about crypto donations, so stay with me on this one. It's not just about the money changing hands, it's about what that transaction proves. Every time a well-known campaign lists XRP as an accepted currency, it chips away at the old argument that crypto is only good for speculation. A veteran employment nonprofit accepting XRP donations is a pretty concrete example of utility, and it's the kind of quiet, practical proof that tends to matter more long-term than any single price rally. Let's also talk about RLUSD for a moment, because it's easy to overlook in a story that's mostly about XRP. RLUSD being listed alongside XRP on this campaign page shows Ripple is treating its stablecoin the same way, as a usable, spendable asset rather than just a bridge currency between trades. For a stablecoin still building its reputation, getting attached to a high-visibility campaign like this is a meaningful step, even if the total dollar amount involved is relatively small compared to Ripple's other business moves. Now, I want to address something directly, because I know a lot of you watching are here for market updates, not charity news. Fair enough. But stories like this one actually do connect to the bigger picture for XRP holders. Utility and adoption stories, even small ones, build the case for XRP as more than a speculative asset. They're not going to move the price tomorrow, but they add to a growing pile of evidence that XRP has practical use cases beyond exchanges. If you're holding long-term, these are the kinds of headlines worth paying attention to, even when they don't come with dollar signs attached to a price target. Let's get back to the mechanics of how you'd actually participate, since a few of you will probably ask in the comments. Donations went through the official Call of Duty endowment campaign page, where XRP and RLUSD were listed as accepted options alongside traditional cash and stock donations. Ripple's match applied specifically to XRP contributions, up to that $10,000 ceiling. Once that limit is reached, additional donations still support the cause, they just don't carry the extra matching bonus from Ripple. Here's a detail that puts this story in sharp focus. 250 years of American independence, celebrated on the same day a crypto company decided to back veteran employment with its own token. That's not a coincidence, that's a deliberate choice to connect a modern financial tool with one of the oldest traditions in the country, honoring service members. Whether or not you care about the political symbolism, it's a smart move from a branding perspective, and it gives XRP a talking point that has nothing to do with lawsuits, SEC rulings, or exchange listings. So what should you actually take away from this story? First, XRP and RLUSD are increasingly being used in contexts outside of trading, which is exactly the kind of adoption long-term holders want to see. Second, Ripple continues to use its brand and its token to attach itself to causes with broad public support, which helps its reputation beyond the crypto-native audience. And third, the actual impact of this specific campaign depends on public participation. So if you're an XRP holder curious about where this stands, the campaign page is the place to check for updates on whether that $10,000 match has been claimed. Before you go, I want to hear from you directly. If you hold XRP or RLUSD, would a matching campaign like this actually get you to donate, or does it feel more like a marketing move than genuine impact? Drop your honest take in the comments. I read every one of them, and some of the best conversations on this channel start right there. If this breakdown gave you something to think about, hit like so more people see it, and subscribe if you want to keep catching these stories before they blow up elsewhere. We'll be back soon with the next update from the Ripple and XRP world. Until then, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.